So Titans, I thought today I would give you kind of a little Titans bonus video, not so much going on in it, just wanted to reflect over a couple of things that have been floating around the interweb, so to speak. A little season 3 teaser, I guess you could say, but also you guys submitted a bunch of questions that I did in a whole separate video. I'll leave that in the cards above if you just haven't seen that yet, but I thought I would answer a few more of those because a lot went unanswered, so I thought I would tie that off with the rest of this video, but first I want to get into a couple of interesting things I just want to discuss and I would love to hear your thoughts about in the comments down below. So aside from that, everyone, if you want to make sure you never miss out on a Titans update, DC Universe, Doom Patrol, anything like that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you press the notification button, because guess what, YouTube doesn't always like to send it to the sub boxes, so you know, that way you can make sure you never miss out on a little extra video like this or something. Also, I do discuss Titans in my Discord server. If you have a Discord account, join it. Even if you don't, get into Discord, download the app, join it through browser, who knows, it'd be great to speak to some more of you there. And other than that, everyone, if you have any video suggestions, any topics you want me to handle in kind of maybe video essay form or whatever, I would love to hear your suggestions down in the comments below, because I've got a couple already that I might springboard off the questions some of you have asked that I'll get to later on in this video, because with the way season 2 went, like, we enjoyed a lot of it, but there were different directions it could have gone, and I kind of want to get into that. So yeah, make sure you come back to the channel another time for a video like that popping up fairly soon. So this may be something to do with the title, like a teaser for season 3, because it's to do with Nightwing, and this just reminds me of the videos I was making before season 1, I think, after season 1 was over. We're kind of back to that content now, you know, just giving you your little fix on Titans and little things you can expect with season 3. And recently, guys, we got a little teaser at the Nightwing Wingdings, which is a name which will always make me laugh. Previously, Brenton Thwaites, we've had that great R-designed version, but now, obviously, with Nightwing, even though this wasn't in the season 2 finale, it seems that, you know, the Nightwing Wingdings are coming in, and as you're seeing on screen right now, this may very well be what they'll look like as a finished product. Now, I believe this comes from AS Creations. I believe he is a prop maker on Titans season 1, season 2, and now season 3, he put a bit of a teaser, literally saying season 3 with a bunch of question marks, Nightwing Wingdings. And so I think we can expect, you know, considering the transformation into Nightwing has happened, obviously he's got the Eskrima sticks, but you know, there's a little bit more to come into play there. We were only really given Nightwing right in the final episode, so we really have yet to flesh out the cool gadgety side of it. I mean, I know we've seen little previews of Nightwing in season 1, which we'll get to in a second. There's a little bit more of the season 1 stuff, but yeah, like, this is a little cool insight. Looking forward to see this in action, to be honest, because I got a feeling it could be fairly brutal and fairly kick-ass with the way he might handle himself with those. But yeah, that's all there is to that. Just thought you guys would appreciate that they're bringing this in. And one more thing I want to actually mention is notice the actual more bird design of like El Al Azul, kind of, if you know what I mean. Whereas the Nightwing suit, of course, like the name Nightwing and how Titans are doing it is kind of based from that story, but he was never, a lot of users pointed out, he was never actually called Nightwing in the episode. So, you know, Titans, the writers have a lot of fleshing out to do. I'm sure someone like Starfire is going to ask him, like, hey, so what are you called now? And then he'll explain, maybe. I hope whatever they write for that is kind of not just brushed aside, because it would just be like, yeah, I'm Nightwing. Why? They need to emphasize that rather than just all of a sudden in the field Hawk and Dove next season, in the hopefully more superhero, you know, oriented season, just says Nightwing over the comms. No, I want him to talk about that to the other heroes. That needs to happen. Back to the main point on the suit, it's not so blatant that it's the bird symbol like some other Nightwing designs. Don't get me wrong, you can kind of, you know, see that there, but it's a lot more obscure compared to, you know, other iterations of Nightwing you may be familiar with. But at the same time, it seems that his wingdings will have that fairly prominent bird head. But yeah, just a cool little insight. But let's move on to something else that I wanted to tackle in this video, because you may have actually watched my previous video on these all new looks at how Titans Season 1's finale was supposed to go, and it was different. Like, if you're not aware of any of this, or you may have some idea but you haven't seen my video on it, I will leave it in the cards above, but it is crazy different. And when I say different, it is just so different. So I'm going to leave those photos. We're not going to go over those again in this video. I just want to go over a few new ones, which, you know, I feel like I am a little bit of a supporter. There's a little bit of a funny, it's not really a joke, but I don't know if it will come to anything. It's like release the Snyder Cut, but release the OG Titans finale. I can't remember what the hashtag is. It's something like that. But I really want to see these scenes. You know, if you didn't know already, the Doom Patrol was supposed to be in the Titans Season 1 finale. There was a whole bunch of various different things going on. And even on Crisis on Infinite Earths, we saw some footage of the Titans Season 1 original finale with Jason and Hank there, or Hawk. You may or may not be aware of that. They borrowed that and, you know, had the antimatter wave coming towards them. But that's not really what we're on about. In this video, we've got a new look at Nightwing with his Eskrima sticks. This is kind of reminiscent of the photos we've already got, but I just thought it would be cool to chuck it in here. Probably, you know, I see various comments when I talk about this. Some people are like, oh man, I need to see that. I wish we got that instead of what we got in the original finale. I definitely get what you mean, but then there's some people like, oh man, I'm kind of glad they took their time to develop it. I'm somewhere kind of in between, because, you know, I'm repeating myself from the other video now, but it would have felt a bit too rushed if he just slipped on a Nightwing suit. But either way, I'm very intrigued to know how they would have originally handled that. How would he have got the suit? Would it have been a similar way to the Season 2 version? Who knows? But we also get to see Donna Troy, Wonder Girl versus Starfire, I believe in her battle armor. Now, she seems to be under the influence of Trigon here. It seems that Wonder Girl wasn't really, well, I can't confirm this, but it seems that she wasn't going to have the flashback in her brain with the reality manipulation, each kind of hero going through their own trial, so to speak. And with Donna Troy, that was a flashback to when her father died, and then they all gave into their darker versions of themselves, just like Brenton Thwaites' Robin did through killing Batman. But it seems that in the original finale, that Donna Troy was gonna, have a square-off battle with Starfire, which, you know, in terms of the comic book characters would have been, you know, it's just in my imagination. It could have been wild. Maybe it would have been fairly tame, but these new kind of photos have come out, and I just thought it'd be interesting to show that. She's doing the very kind of Wonder Woman pose there, and it just makes me think 1,000 different things. So I don't really have too much else to say about that than that. But I just thought you guys would appreciate that, and I just want to know what you think of this down in the comments below. Would you have really wanted to see Starfire versus Donna Troy with the context of that they would have been under the influence of Trigon's kind of evil takeover? I'm still impartial. Maybe after seeing the original cut, this is weird to say when it comes to Titans, I may very well be persuaded. And also, it would have made things interesting for the Doom Patrol connectivity. Now, I'm not going to get into that in this video. That was the Titans version of the Doom Patrol. It is so different from the version of the actual Doom Patrol show. But maybe they would have answered something like that as to why they would have been so different. But I digress. I could speak about that forever. Okay, and lastly, everyone, I wanted to answer a few more of your questions because, as I said, a bunch of you asked quite a few of them. Sorry if one of these next few aren't one of yours. Maybe I can do this again. Let me know if you want to see that, another kind of Q&A thingy. But at the end of the day, this is all just my opinion. There's no really facts necessarily going into this because we don't know the definitive answer. But of course, this is probably why you're watching it, because you want to know what I think of where things could go. So Jessica Jones here asks quite a few questions. We saw Starfire lose her powers, but how is it possible that she lost her strength and durability? She hurt her hand from punching Mercy. Now, you kind of mix that in with, could Starfire be losing her powers, be a psychological thing, considering she killed Fade? Maybe. It could be psychosomatic. It could be in her mind. It's going to be interesting to see, because I've been wondering this myself. Like, I don't think necessarily, I mean, maybe her sister, you know, Blackfire could have done some manipulation, you know, because the little globby thing that's taken over Fade, and then now how she's kind of come to Earth in that form. I know she has that bracelet on which inhibits her, you know, pure Starfire powers, and I think she's still wearing that, but I don't think even if she took that off, it would make too much of a difference. It could be like a actual psychological thing. That would be quite an interesting thing to explore for a character, because, you know, the mental side of things, because considering a lot has happened. But yeah, I'm very intrigued to hear that myself and where that could go. For now, I would maybe put it down to psychological, but something's telling me maybe there is more to it. If Starfire did have her powers against, you know, in the battle, do you think the battle against Connor would have been different? Not necessarily. I don't think her powers would have done too much to, you know, the Kryptonian elements of Connor, even the fire and stuff like that. I don't think it would have done too much. She would have been a lot stronger, but Connor is very OP that way. His big disadvantage, I think, is his naivety and inexperience and stuff. And with your other question, did Connor really seem like a threat to you? I think so. I feel like, if anything, with powerful characters like this, which I might get into in a second with the speedster question, if anything, I feel like they're underused deliberately so, because with a character like that, they could just break someone's necks. But then you have, moments where Connor, this isn't even nitpicking, he's instructed to kill Hawk and other characters. But Hawk's a perfect example here. Was holding him up like that, could have gone, but he didn't. Do you know what I mean? He could have killed him so easily. So yeah, you could argue, though, in comic book logic, you can always say this, somewhere in Connor's mind, since he was sat there in the dark, if you guys remember, he didn't truly want to do that, so he was fighting every little second until someone else could have, helped get Hawk free. But hey, that's up to you guys to decide. Next question is from Charlie Strander. What new characters do you think we'll see, or who do I want to see? I've kind of answered stuff like this similar before, but in terms of new characters I think we're going to see, I think it'd be stupid of me to say that we're not going to see any new characters. Of course we will, new season, but you're probably on about specific characters like Titans, maybe. Or maybe you're just on about anyone, to be honest. I'd really like to see more Cadmus stuff happen. So that would mean Mercy Graves coming back, not necessarily a new character, but I would love through that Lex to somehow get involved, but I really don't, I'm really apprehensive of that. No expectations whatsoever. As for Titans though, I really want to see, well, this is the thing. We're at the end. I think that is meant to be the solidified team going forward. And then you've got the Troyer elements potentially coming in maybe a fair amount later. So I don't know if they're going to really add Roy Harper or Wally West. If it would be anyone, I think it would be Roy. I believe, from what I've heard, I can't remember who this was from. It was floating around the internet. It's not personally. Was it in the original Titans Season 1 finale? Apparently this is to do with that cut, I guess, I spoke about a minute ago. I think Donna Troy was meant to say, like, we could use Wally's help, but he's unavailable. So they were, like, the tease stuff like that. Apparently, like, just, I want to stress apparently. Just kind of like how they did with Roy Harper on Donna Troy's phone. It seems that Donna Troy is the person to drop lines like this. What I will say about that, though, is that there's no way in this world those characters aren't familiar with these other heroes. So I would like to see another hero come in, maybe in Donna Troy's absence. But then again, I think that this show can suffer from too many characters and just suffer from giving them meaningful storylines. Like my favorite characters in the show, usually Hawk and Dove, didn't really feel like they had a place this season. As much as my brain was like trying to engage in, oh, but I still really like them. I don't want them to go. But, it almost got to a point where it's like, guys, you're kind of doing damage. It's like almost to the character's detriment, through keeping them there with the story they had. David Tate asks, if they do, how would they introduce Kid Flash next season? So similar to what we were just asking, I don't want to rule Kid Flash out, so I've always said, I feel like the thing is with powerful characters, that's the thing. They have to make a powerful character not as powerful, which then invites new criticism. So if you have a speedster, you always, why couldn't they usually fix anything unless there's really a unique villain that could slow them down or something? So then they usually do something quite often to that character that makes them seem pretty stupid, underpowered, when really it's like they should zoom in and solve a problem. Same with Superboy. Why can't he go in and just do this? They might not let him do that, even though he could have, for example. A big criticism from a lot of fans is, why didn't Superboy do something instead of Donna Troy? This is what I mean. Then the fans come in and be like, that's wrong because that character could have done that. So I don't know if they're going to do that for that reason, bring in Wally West. That's why I keep going back to bring in a vigilante. They always work, usually. It's a lot easier at least. So Kid Flash, if they had to do it, I think it would just be through established relationships already. Same in how Donna Troy got help from Roy Harper with that intel. So yeah, maybe it'll be something like that. That would be pretty cool. Just like how in season 1, something brought Dick Grayson to meet Donna Troy. But I really wouldn't rely on it, even though I would love a speedster in Titans. I think even just seeing the effects imagining the effects of a speedster on an actor, in the show, it just gets me geeking out. So Kylen asks, do you think that Jason Todd will be a member of the team at any point next season, or will he just do his own thing? Very good question. I'm very torn between this. I think it could go one of two ways. I think it could work if he went and did his own thing, but then you may as well already establish him as this new iteration of Red Hood that Titans is doing, because what would happen to him that would cause any emotional thing for a lot of other people if he's never seen anyone in the longest time, engaged with them, and there was no cinematic tragic moment. So I think the Titans, over the course of a few episodes next season, will rope Jason back in. But I think, you know, the journey for Red Hood has already started, at least for the Titans version, and it'll be a season-long thing next season. Other than that, though, they could have him going out by himself, and he just keeps bumping into them along the way, and it causes this angst, like Dick Grayson, whenever the team interact with him, they're like, come on, Jason, come back home, and he's just like, no, screw you. Like, something else happens, and then he happens to be in the same kind of situation. Maybe he wants to help out in the same cases and do his own vigilante stuff, but keeps kind of running into them. I don't know. There's a billion different directions this can go, but I am also apprehensive of just thinking of Karen Walters being totally independent next season. But if they were to do that, I think each members of the team will try and reach out to him, whether that's Nightwing, then we might have Rose, and things just might get more and more tense until the boiling point, and then that could be the Red Hood moment of Titans. And Blue Vortex asks, why did Raven leave again? So Raven left because, well, she wanted to try and help out Donna Troy. She felt like at least she owed it to her, I think, to see if she could do something with her crazy powers, but more for the broader context of Titans in the show and Raven's character. Themyscira can help kind of utilize her special abilities. They're morphing, they're evolving, they're getting out of control more than ever. That was pointed out at so many points this season, and that was a big focal point of why she wanted to go. And I think it's also the show's excuse for really not rewriting that character. It's kind of like a, not necessarily retconning either, but I think they're gonna, it's an excuse for them to change her and come back slightly different. Themyscira is a way to do that. There's no doubt that she would have gone through major changes. I think compared to the season 1 original finale where she would have gone through this 300 days of training, this is their excuse to do that in this new continuity, in the only continuity, because that never happened. But yeah, I've got quite a few more questions, but I'm gonna have to end this video now. Let me know if you want to see more of these little Titans update videos, because there wasn't so much to this video, but I can keep chucking in more and more questions like this. Maybe some of you like it, maybe some of you don't, but I know there's some people who probably just like chilling and hearing, you know, more Titans reviewy-esque stuff to bring us back to the review days. I don't know. But thank you so much for watching, guys, up until this point. If you did enjoy it, I would really appreciate a like on this video. It really does help out the channel. For some reason, YouTube just favors likes, so every time you generally do leave a little thumbs up, it makes the video that much more improved on the website and the algorithm. That is forever a mystery. Subscribe for any Titans and DC Universe stuff. As I said, join my Discord server. It would be great to see some of you there. If you want to support the channel a bit more, I will be adding a join button, but right now I've still got my Patreon, so check that out. Other than that, check out my past couple of videos here. I've done the Rise of Skywalker review. Check that out if you're a Star Wars fan, or even if you're not, you know, hey, you might be going to see it anyway. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you Titans in the next video. Goodbye.